How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Twigger coming at you with another high ELO commentary, and this one I don't even know what to actually call this game because there are so many high ELO players and LCS champions in here. I'm going to be mainly focusing on Wildturtle and Xpecial in this bottom lane, playing as the Twitch and the Lulu, but we also have Nubbypoohbear, who was actually formerly the AP carry for Orbit Gaming, and what I now realize is that KT Link is actually an alternative ID for Link from CLG, and we also have Crumbz in this one as well, and we also have MRNs Megazero. There are so many people in this game. It's just like an all-star matchup here, so it's going to be very interesting to see which team comes out on top. Currently, there are more people from the LCS on that red team with Wildturtle, Megazero, Xpecial, and Crumbz, but I never like to count Link out. He's an incredible mid laner, but there's a lot of pressure actually going down into this bottom lane. A great pull onto Xpecial, and that's actually going to be first blood for, I don't even know, TS Wizfujin? I guess is his name on that Varus, but a lot of pressure now going down on him, and they're actually going to manage to pick up that Twitch. Link actually coming in with that Kha'Zix to do the finishing blow on that one. Crumbz trying to get away from this one, but also trying to kill Varus, see if he can get one final hit on him. But it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. Blitzcrank is now getting low, but a great pull onto Crumbz as well, and that is going to be the end of Crumbz. And while all this is going on, Megazero takes down Renekton. So thank you, teams, for allowing me to catch my breath and not putting all the action in the same time. Unreal amount of action at the start of this game. 4 kills in the first 4 minutes. So, gotta like it when there's a fully action-packed game like this. You kind of come to expect that with all these high ELO and LCS players, that they've really kind of mastered a lot of this game just because of how much they've been playing in the past. Well, it's been 10 weeks of the LCS and then another week of the playoffs, so they have been playing a lot with their training and so they become finely tuned machines at their smart aggression. So I have rarely seen Link actually play an aggressive mid such as Kha'Zix. As a lot of you know, CLG is actually been put into the summer relegation and promotion series. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they can actually come back into the LCS. I think it's this week that it's happening, but can't talk about that yet because a lot of pressure going down onto Crumbz and onto the Trundle. Trundle having to burn his flash to try to get away from this one, and now Crumbz taking a whole lot of damage, but Malphite's doing a lot here as well. Link actually takes down the Lee Sin, and I don't think they're going to be able to get a double kill here, but actually the blue buff and the red buff were transferred over to that Malphite, but Renekton coming down to try to chase this Malphite down came all the way from the top lane without a teleport. And it looks like Malphite's just going to get away. He did have to use his teleport to get down into that fight, but certainly worth it. 2-for-1 trade, and the double buffs are now onto Malphite. And I think it actually might be an AP Malphite in the mid. I could be mistaken, but I have been mistaken before, so don't quote me on this. And now, a lot of damage going down onto Xpecial, and that excellent pull just from very close range, securing that kill. And Scumbag Blitzcrank actually picking that one up. So 1-0-3 for that Varus and 1-0-2 for the Blitzcrank. Going to be a very scary lane for Wildturtle and Xpecial to deal with in the later game. You don't normally see Wildturtle play the Twitch. He didn't play it frequently in the LCS, but look at the damage going down onto him now. The pull is going to miss, but the arrow is not, and going to slay the Wildturtle. I think there's some PETA rule about doing that, but anywho, Wildturtle doesn't normally play Twitch, and I remember back in the LCS, in the playoffs, that he did end up playing it, I think, and the team didn't really want him to, Dyrus especially, because I don't think they believed that he had enough practice on it, wasn't his best, but did end up doing very well. They kind of played the whole protect the Twitch role, and he really did very well. It did take him a little while to get going in that role, but he did manage to pull out all the stops. Malphite gonna have to flash over this wall. He does still have his ultimate to get away if he needs to. It looks like he does burn that ultimate to try to make as much distance between him and the Kha'Zix and the Trundle. Really didn't want to die there. And Megazero is just going to stay up top and continue to farm. He is actually beating the Renekton in CS, and Renekton has not popped the red elixir that he currently has in his inventory. So, a lot of armor on Megazero right now, sitting with the 2 cloth armors and the Doran's shield. So he should be able to trade fairly well with this Renekton. Probably not going to be taking a whole lot of damage for them, but the main problem right now for this red team is actually in the bottom lane. They have been set pretty darn far behind. It's going to be quite a while for them to bring themselves back up to the point where they're going to be able to challenge Varus and Blitzcrank. Because as we can see, Varus is pretty much nearly completed the Blade of the Ruined King, and this is at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Very, very scary stuff. And there's a taunt coming from Megazero, trying to bring Nubbypoohbear right into his minion wave. And just see, he's doing so much damage to Renekton, and Renekton's not really doing a hell of a lot to him just because of all that armor that he's built. And the little passive bonus from the Doran's shield being able to block out a little bit of those auto attack damage. A little bit of auto attack damage is, I think, what I was trying to say there. Looking into the mid lane, not really that big of a difference, just in the kills, really. There was one more kill and a death on Kha'Zix versus the 2-0-0 for Malphite, but very even CS as well. And what I was saying just before, in CLG, there's the flash pull, but it did not end up happening for Moki Balls. Link, it has always been told that he has to play those long-range good farming champions, such as like Lux and Nidalee, and Orianna plays those a lot, and what he was saying is that he really wants to play other champions, but he does what's best for the team. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he pulls off somebody like a Kha'Zix, who is very in-your-face, assassin-esque. I wonder if CLG will allow him to play something like that if he does and currently he's doing very well on this champion, farming really well and managing to roam quite a bit. So I wonder if CLG will actually allow him to play something like that in the summer promotion if he does fairly well. There's the Ignite Burned onto Crumbz and a lot of damage coming down, but he jumps over to the ward, but it's not going to be enough. The kick actually putting Link over the wall, and then he ends up flashing away. Great escape from Crumbz. I didn't think he was going to get out of there at all, but manages to prove me wrong, Crumbz being the jungler from Dignitas, and Dignitas is actually also in the summer promotion series, so they could lose their jobs as well. But look at the damage coming down onto Wildturtle. Blitzcrank snagging that one up, securing the kill, as supports like to say. But 2-0-2 and 2-0-4 in that bottom lane, and Wildturtle is just not having the best of games. He's down in farm by almost 20, and he's down 3 kills to this Varus. Going to be very, very difficult for him to make his way back up, and I'm assuming that once Varus goes back, he is going to have enough money to finish that Blade of the Ruined King, which is just going to make Wildturtle's life a hell of a lot harder. And it's going to make the lives of everybody else a little bit harder too, because they do have quite a tanky lineup with Lee Sin and Shen and that Malphite, and then with the Lulu ultimate. The Blade of the Ruined King is going to be doing a lot of damage from that percentage health damage that it does have. Going to be very interesting to see, and there you go, Blade of the Ruined King, so exactly like how I said. Going to be a difficult thing to come back from. Trundle was waiting up in that top lane brush to try to see if he could make something happen there, be all sneaky, but Megazero is a little bit too smart for that, and he's also Shen. A Shen that is ahead. Going to be very, very difficult to take him down. Don't really know if you'd really want to waste all your, or burn all your resources to try to take somebody down who I really don't think that they're going to have any luck taking down. And as you can see, Megazero not really in any kind of a desperate situation. He just continues to use his taunt to pull Renekton into those minions, just make sure that he can get as much damage onto Renekton as humanly possible. And the red team is going to take this opportunity to take a completely uncontested dragon, but a great pull onto Wildturtle, but oh man, that invisibility, the Q coming off just as he got pulled. So he manages to just walk away from that one. The lucky thing about that pull was that Varus' ultimate, the Chain of Corruption, was actually not available. So I think even if the invisibility did not come up, he had enough support, and they didn't have their abilities up, so I think he would have still survived. But the Shen ultimate coming down onto Wildturtle and the Lulu ultimate. There's a big dive going on here from Trundle, Varus, and the Blitzcrank. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage going down onto the red team, but a great grab. Xpecial just goes completely the other way from his team. So I think Blitzcrank might have put himself in a bad situation. You're pulling Xpecial over the wall. Lee Sin is now coming. The Q's going to land, and there's the E from Crumbz picking up the Blitzcrank. So great work on that. And it looks like Malphite's going to use that Q, slow down the Varus a little bit more. Is he going to be able to get there? He has to use his ultimate to pick up that Varus. Normally you would say that that's a waste of an ultimate, but I think he was actually going to get away because his hail of arrows was going to come up again, slow down that Malphite. I doubt he was going to be able to pick it up. Rather burn that ultimate than your flash to pick up that kill, considering it was only one. There's a very interesting Blitzcrank pull. You just saw Xpecial get completely pulled off the side and actually sealed Blitzcrank's fate. So maybe what looked like a good pull at the time turned out to be not a very good pull. And it looks like they're going to get a lot of damage onto this turret, and Link actually just jumping in there completely balls deep. The Q did land from Crumbz, and he's going to jump in there. The ultimate being used to seal the deal on Kha'Zix, the Ignite being used onto Crumbz as well, and Malphite is taking a lot of turret damage. Crumbz is going to have to use his E just to slow down the Trundle advance, and the Q actually landing once again on Trundle. Is Crumbz going to feel ballsy enough to jump in here? No, he is not. And Blitzcrank just going completely all out, just punching whatever he can. Use them fists. And there's just, when all else fails, when you try to dodge a Blitzcrank hook, you just saw it there. Sometimes when you just stop moving, it turns out to work. Just make sure that you don't juke too much, because sometimes you out-juke yourself and you just end up walking into the rocket grab of Blitzcrank. Gonna take a little sip of my tea there. And now, what is the CS sitting at? 103 to 101 in favor of that Shen. Really not by much. And it's actually the top turret for Renekton has pretty much not been touched. But the top turret for the Shen has actually been taken down. So I would say that Renekton's actually winning this top lane. And then between Lee Sin and Trundle, 43 to 55 in favor of Crumbz, and Crumbz also has those 2 kills and the 1 assist, and has actually gotten the Ruby Sightstone. So going for that tankiness, but also making sure that in any desperate situation, he will always have a ward available to ward jump to. So not only is he going to help his team by providing that extra vision, he's also helping himself by making sure that no matter what position he gets into, he can put a ward over a wall, he can put a ward down just to gain some distance. Lee Sin is actually scales very well with having wards on him, so look for some pretty interesting plays and some interesting angles coming out of Crumbz attacks. 107 to 69, there's the big difference right there for Kha'Zix over the Malphite. Kha'Zix being such a great farmer with that evolved W, the Vorpal Spikes. I believe that's what they're called, the Vorpal Spikes. I think so. But the shooting things, the 3 shooting things, if you can't remember the name, and if they're not Vorpal Spikes. Looking down into the AD carries, another big difference, 105 for the Varus to 77 of Wildturtle's Twitch. 2 kills and 4 assists on the Varus, while there's only 3 assists onto the Wildturtle, and it looks like there might be another kill here. Great amount of damage coming onto Wildturtle, but there's the Shen ultimate, but Trundle is actually coming down on the other side. Oh, sorry, that was Xpecial who was taking the damage. It looks like Varus got taken out, and the Shen taunt is going to pick up the Varus. Wildturtle getting the finishing blow on that one. Very, very good fight. I guess that's the main thing, is that Blitzcrank can pull somebody in, but they really do have the team to counteract that immediate engage. With that Lulu ultimate going on to knock people up, and then the Shen ultimate coming down, it's very, very difficult to kill the person who does end up getting grabbed. So I wonder if that's kind of been their plan all along. It's fine, we're going to get grabbed, we can't really avoid that apparently, but when we do get grabbed, how do we deal with it? And it seems as though after they hit level 6, those grabs became a little bit more ineffective, just having Shen be able to come down. But Shen is kind of paying the price with coming down. He is getting those assists and those kills, but Renekton has been able to stay up in the top lane and continue to push those turrets and get that farm. So now Renekton is a little bit ahead in CS and has also taken a little bit of the tower down, and that's the 2nd tier turret. So it's not going to be too long if Shen does that 1 or 2 more times, that Renekton's going to be right up on the inhibitor turret. Crumbz getting caught out a little bit here, the ultimate going off to try to get them away. A great dodge on the pull, but it was not enough. See, that's what I was talking about, putting those wards down to try to gain some distance, but the Ignite was enough to take down Crumbz from the Renekton. Very good pickup on their part. Renekton getting his first kill of the game, sitting there with the Giant's Belt and the Brutalizers, doing a lot of damage and also going to be quite tanky, especially when he pops that ultimate. And Blitzcrank is now setting up to try to kill to pull somebody in to Link. And oh, he just barely missed that pull onto Wildturtle. And God's Rage on this Malphite, looking to try to find something. It looks like he's not really building AP, he's just kind of building standard tank Malphite from what I'm seeing here. A lot of armor, as we all know that Malphite does scale very well with armor. Some of his abilities do actually give more based on the armor, and the Randuin's Omen and the Ninja Tabi are perfect pickups for somebody like a Malphite looking to be very, very tanky, but yet also do quite a bit of damage for his team. And the best part about having that Randuin's Omen is for that fed Varus. It does have that attack speed from the Blade of the Ruined King, and if you can slow that down and just kind of like pick him off, it much, much better odds of your team winning a team fight. Link does have that blue buff. And whoa, there's the ultimate coming down, and they did not know that the Wildturtle was there. Kha'Zix is just going to jump away. It looks like nothing's actually going to come out of that one. They didn't know that Wildturtle was there, so it was a great little jump onto them. But Kha'Zix with that jump just goes so far, and he is level 12 now, so he has evolved that jump. So the distance that he can travel with that jump is just insane. It's going to be very difficult to hold him down, hold the insect in place so that way they can stomp on him. But they did get him low enough that they knew he had to go back, so this is going to be the perfect time to take their second uncontested dragon. And look at Megazero just absolutely bullying this Renekton, and he hasn't taken nearly any damage. With the Vorpal Blade, the Q, and his Feint, the shield, being able to just heal himself up, Renekton really doesn't have an answer for this. He has already burned his ultimate, and he doesn't have his Ignite available. Megazero does still have his Ignite available, and it looks like he is running away now. They did see that Blitzcrank and Varus were coming up with that River Ward. Great juke of the Blitzcrank pull, just remaining completely calm. He is cool as a cucumber and walks back to base completely unscathed. Crumbz is now going to find Trundle in the jungle. Going to do quite a bit of damage to him. Trundle's actually currently quite weak, and this is actually the... this is the old Trundle. I recorded this game a little while ago, so this is pre-new Trundle patch. So this is actually the old Trundle, not the new one. Did take me a while to actually get to commentating this game. But Crumbz actually doing a lot of damage to Trundle. Gonna have to run away now because, as we can see on the mini-map, we have a Varus and a Blitzcrank and a Renekton coming in. There's the ward jump. Gonna try to kick away that Varus, making some extra space for him to try to run away. And this is where the Lee Sin juking is going to have to come into effect here. He does manage to slow down the Trundle. The Shen ultimate coming off. The Flash having to be burned from the Trundle. And he jumps to another ward to try to slow down and do as much damage to Blitzcrank as possible. Renekton in the middle doing a lot of damage. The great Malphite ultimate knocking up Blitzcrank and Trundle. Trundle is going to go down. The Blitzcrank grab does actually whiff. Kha'Zix coming in though and picking up the Lulu. His resets are now on. Jumping onto the Wildturtle, seeing if he can pick that one up. The resets are now going again. Picks up another one. Just going to be jumping everywhere. This is what you get with Kha'Zix, getting that evolved jump, getting the resets from every assist and kill. But it looks like he might be taken down from the Lee Sin. He does manage to pick it up. He did get that other jump in, but it is now just Megazero trying to pick off this entire kind of front line and the ADC from the blue team, but it is not going to be enough. So, great trade for that blue team. 5 for 2, I believe. Just the Kha'Zix and the Trundle did go down, but that's what we can see, the terrifying ability of Kha'Zix to just jump through your team, and every assist and every kill that he gets, he can reset that jump and just continue jumping through your team, doing so much damage and escape pretty much unscathed. Or by the skin of his teeth, as we kind of saw in that one, until he finally did get picked up after that, fourth jump or something along those lines. So Link playing a pretty impressive Kha'Zix, I must say. Doing those jumps kind of like Xpecial and that pentakill that he got. Just really jumping around and making sure that the jumps do damage but don't put you in a dangerous place. He is still playing very much an assassin character. So if he gets himself too far in and overcommits, he will be popped very, very quickly. He has no defensive items and barely any life steal just from that Vampiric Scepter. So he does have to be very careful about how he positions himself. He did go for that early Last Whisper, really favoring that armor penetration, especially against somebody like a Malphite, who is going to have a lot of armor. Same with the Shen, same with the Lee Sin. It's basically making it that Kha'Zix can still do damage to those guys, and his abilities aren't going to be wasted on them. So if he can't get in range of the Lulu or Wildturtle, he can still hit Malphite, Shen, and Lee Sin, and not have to worry about just wasting abilities because they're not doing any damage to them. And I actually wonder how far along Kha'Zix's tier of the goddess is. Should be fairly close to getting that, the Mirror Mana. Well, it would be the Mana Immune, I guess, at the beginning, and then getting that Mirror Mana once the thing is fully stacked. So wonder when he's actually going to vouch to pick up the Mana Immune. He does already have that longsword, which are the components to build it. So I'm expecting that to come out pretty darn soon. Renekton using his Slice and Dice to get away from here. I think he believes that something is going to be going on in the mid lane, which is why he's making his way down there quite quickly. Crumbz coming along the back, going to try to pick off this Trundle, but Trundle is one of the tankier members on this team. The ultimate from Malphite coming down onto the Varus, but it actually, the Q whiffed from Lee Sin onto the Varus, so he wasn't able to really follow that one up. But there's the ward jump from Lee Sin, going to try to pick off the Varus, is not actually going to be able to get there. Nubbypoohbear doing a great job taking the entire enemy team. That Q hitting absolutely everybody, but Renekton does finally fall. Varus is a little bit too low to actually pick anybody off on this one, so he's probably just going to have to play it safe and run away. Maybe try to heal up and then come back into this fight. The red team is actually not even overly low. You only have one person, which is Crumbz, who is under half health. Malphite going to tank this turret a little bit. As you can see, just with the amount of armor that Malphite has, barely really taking any damage from that turret and allowing Wildturtle to just do some pod shots on it. Already taking it down to under half HP. A lot of damage going down from the turret onto Crumbz, though he is not as tanky as he wants to be to tank that turret. But look at the damage going down on the Blitzcrank. The mana shield didn't matter at all. He was nearly out of mana. But here comes Link. Can he get his resets going? The ultimate did get popped, so he does get those resets. There's another reset, the double kill coming out from Link. The resets are just going insane with these jumps. He does have the red buff and the blue buff, so his cooldowns are going to be great. The triple kill for Link, using that last jump just to clear the minion wave. Man, that is not the person that you want kills on. He is playing a very, very good Kha'Zix. 9-3-2 with 189 CS. Arguably, sorry, the second highest in the game for CS, only Renekton beating him at 203. And Nubbypoohbear once again just trying to fight Megazero, and look at that, just not doing a damn thing. And here comes Link trying his odds at Megazero, but taking 2 turret shots, doing a lot of damage. And look, even the both of them barely really scathing Megazero. He can just kind of chill here, and yeah, you want to fight? I'll fight. He's just been this ideal bruiser, being able to heal up with his Q, pop that feint, make sure that he can absorb a little bit of the damage. And both Kha'Zix and Renekton couldn't really damage him all that much. That Locket of the Iron Solari and the Sunfire Cape really coming into effect there. And it looks like there's another Sunfire Cape now being purchased onto Crumbz. And there we go, Kha'Zix now picking up that Mana Mune. So, very good position to be in. His damage is going to be absolutely incredible now. And Varus, another big buy, picking up that Infinity Edge. A lot of damage going to be coming out from Varus and Kha'Zix in this next fight. But Wildturtle has been able to pick up a couple kills himself and a few assists, and has managed to kind of bring himself back into the CS game. 169 for Varus to the 156 of Twitch. He was behind by quite a bit, but has now managed to pick himself back up. He's sitting there with the Infinity Edge, and it looks like he might be going towards a Last Whisperer first, is what I think. But there's the Malphite coming in, and with the Shen ultimate on him, Kha'Zix is now going to try to solo Crumbz. But there's a big fight going down in front of this Dragon Pit. Wildturtle getting jumped on by that Trundle, but the Lulu ultimate going down onto Twitch. Renekton coming straight through to the Twitch to try to pick him off, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. The Expunge should be coming out. MRNs Megazero actually manages to pick up Renekton, and a great taunt going on to Varus. He might actually be dead from this one, and Blitzcrank cannot get a pull over the wall. And while all of that was going on, nothing really happened in the top lane. Crumbz just ran away from Link. And he is now going to sit in here. He is not going to like this. That brush is warded, and he is just going to get absolutely popped. So Link just kind of running, making it seem like he doesn't know exactly where Lee Sin is, but he was standing right on top of a ward. Nothing he can really do about that one. So the good news about that is that the red team actually did win that fight. They did get... it was 2-0 at that point. It did end up being 2-1 with Lee Sin dying, but the important thing is that Lee Sin keeping that the Kha'Zix up in the top kept Kha'Zix out of that main fight. That was exactly what was important, and it made sure that Kha'Zix didn't get to just jump all over their team, get those resets, get a lot of kills there. So not a horrible play, but in the midst of all that, the blue team's Renekton ended up picking up that dragon, so it wasn't even a smite, it was Renekton picking that one up. So looking at the gold, 40,000, well 41,000 in all respects to 39.2 thousand. Very, very close game. It's just about a 2,000 gold lead for this blue team. 17-4, 26 minutes into this game. 3 turrets to 3 turrets. You can't really get much closer. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these late game team fights are going to kind of be like. If the defend the Twitch strategy kind of comes out. They do have a great team for that defend the Twitch with the Shen taunts, the Lee Sin kick, the Malphite ultimate, the Lulu ultimate. You have a great team to kind of make sure that Twitch is in his own little bubble. And looks like there might be a little bit of engage here. The grab actually going down onto the Malphite, taking a lot of damage, but not the person that you wanted to be in the middle of your team. The Trundle ultimate going down onto the Twitch. They're doing as much damage as they can to the Malphite to try to take him down. Renekton has jumped to the middle of the team to try to pick off Wildturtle, but it is not going to be enough. Now Kha'Zix is trying to make his way in. His flash is still available, can definitely pick off Xpecial, It is going to pick off Xpecial, doing a little bit of damage, going to jump away because he got the reset from Lulu. Megazero, once again, pretty much at full health, just running in and taking down everybody that he can. And is... Oh, there we go. The Vorpal Blade is actually going to manage to pick up that Varus. And I just cannot believe how tanky Megazero is. He went for that Frozen Mallet, so his chase potential is great too. And oh my god, Wildturtle just gets absolutely blown up from Kha'Zix. So that's kind of what happens when you kind of leave your carry. Crumbz and Megazero were chasing down that Trundle and left Twitch in the middle. And it meant that they pretty much evened out that fight. So... not overly the best play to leave Twitch kind of in the middle, knowing that a Kha'Zix is still just around the corner. Because, as you can see, he's 12-3-2. Already have that Bloodthirster, the Last Whisper, the Mana Mune, or sorry, the Mirror Mana is what it's called now. It's absolutely ridiculous how strong Kha'Zix is. So they are really going to need to taunt him down and hopefully pick him off first. Or at least make him waste that jump and then just reset when he comes back in. And one of the hard things for this red team is that they don't have an AP carry. Their Malphite was in the mid lane, and I have heard of AP Malphites. I've played it a few times before, and Xpecial played it quite a bit, even in the professional scene. But he does not have any AP items at all. So as you can see, that Q really doing no damage. He's basically just looking to cancel out that Kha'Zix, the Renekton, the Varus, and the Trundle AD damage. And Megazero, once again, just being a pain in the ass for Renekton. The damage coming out from that Sunfire Cape as well. Like, look at Renekton's health versus Megazero's health. And then the Wildturtle is just going to pop in, use that Expunge, kill that Renekton. And Link actually being caught out here. Is his jump available? His jump is available. I don't know if he just kind of screwed that one up. It looks like he kind of did. But Link might actually be taken down here, which would be huge for this red team. There's the jump coming out, and he does manage to survive for now. And there's the Shen ultimate taunting that Blitzcrank. Link actually does get taken down, so this could be a very good fight for the red team. Twitch is in here now as well. They looks like they're going to take down this Varus. No, that was actually the Trundle. Lee Sin gets taken down from the Blitzcrank, securing another kill. And it looks like Varus is now in the middle of no man's land, using that Hail of Arrows to try to slow everybody down. But it looks like the Malphite is probably going to pick up this one without too much of a challenge. There's the double kill for Malphite. And as we're talking about that, Shen and Twitch are already on the Baron, taking that one down. It was a 5-for-1 ace for that red team. Very impressive play. And Megazero, I can't stress it enough. He is so tanky, but yet still does a decent amount of damage that they can't just ignore him. He will just poke them down and poke them down and poke them down, just chipping away at their health until they end up just dying completely, and Megazero is completely fine. Tanked up that entire Baron for that long of a period of time, and he just lost a quarter of his health. So, don't know what they're going to do to answer that. Well, I don't know if they have an answer for that Shen. Just like I was saying before, they needed to do a lot to answer for that Kha'Zix jumping onto their Twitch. And I think they found that out, is that if Shen just stays back and taunts the Kha'Zix and Malphite saves his ultimate for the Kha'Zix, they just take him down, they're good. But I don't know how the blue team is going to deal with a Shen that they currently cannot kill because he's so tanky, but is also doing a good amount of damage with that Frozen Mallet, and he has great chase potential, but has now also picked himself up a Vampiric Scepter. So with that Q on somebody while he's hitting them with the Vampiric Scepter, he's going to be regaining so much health. I don't see how you're going to be able to kill that. And look at that, he's upwards in the high 3,000s of health, might even have 4,000 health here. He does 3,966, so great amount of health onto Megazero. And look at that. So everybody on this team currently hitting Megazero. He does use that, he hasn't used his Locket yet. Wildturtle on a killing spree, managing to pick off that Trundle. Megazero actually taking quite a bit of damage, but Link ends up going down, so this is a big fight now for the red team. The big damage guys are done, but a great pull from the Blitzcrank, grabbing Wildturtle, but a Lulu ultimate knocks them all up, opens the door for the rest of this red team to do as much damage as they can. Wildturtle doing so much damage onto the Renekton, and there's the double kill for Twitch, and he manages to pick up the turret as well. This is probably going to be an inhibitor here. It is only Blitzcrank currently alive to try to take down this entire team. The surrender vote coming out, but failing for the blue team. and Wildturtle just going to sit here and take a few turret hits, manages to dodge that Blitzcrank hook. Would have been incredibly funny if Wildturtle actually got pulled by that and killed by the Blitzcrank, but didn't end up happening. Twitch is going to try to see if he can pick off this Blitzcrank. I don't know if he can. The Expunge actually doing so much damage and managing to pick off that Blitzcrank. There's the ace. Trundle is now up, and it's 5 seconds. Kha'Zix going to be up as well, but I really don't think they're going to have enough to deal with the entire 5-man team with Baron buff. The Baron regeneration is just getting them back nearly to full health, but there's a lot of damage going down onto Wildturtle, but he does get invisible and is not going to be able to finish this off on Wildturtle. The Lulu shield coming off on him as well. They're just chasing him to no end to try to kill him, but a double kill coming out for Twitch as well. Looks like he's going to be ending the game with a very good score, where it didn't look like that was going to happen at the beginning. Nubbypoohbear trying to get in there to try to take down all the members, but there's a triple kill coming out for Wildturtle. Could this be possibly a pentakill? No, I don't believe it will be, because they need to kill Varus and wait for Blitzcrank to come up as well, but that's going to be a good game for the red team. Wildturtle, Xpecial, MRNs Megazero, Dignitas' Crumbz do end up beating Link and Nubbypoohbear. Absolutely incredible game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys in the next High ELO commentary or Escape from ELO Hell or whatever I happen to post next. See you later, guys.